Hey everybody, I'm Ben Yingling, and I'm sitting here in the Young Benefactor boardroom at the Boys and Girls Club of Westminster, sitting here with a good friend of mine, Ross Albers, who was a big part of the Young Benefactor giving circle. So, Ross, welcome.
Thank you.
You know,
Appreciate it.
Hey, Ross, tell us about yourself. Tell us about your family and your business in Westminster.
Yeah, sure. So I own a law firm here in Westminster, have offices in Columbia and Timonium. We do personal injury, criminal defense, sort of a general type of practice, family law. Married, two young daughters. They go to the young school here in Westminster. Three dogs. We've lived here for about 5 years now, and neither my wife or I are born and raised here in Carroll County. I'm from Virginia, and she's from Vermont, and so I'm always sort of find it fascinating the number of people I meet here who have been born and raised in Carroll County and ended up staying here. So we've been here for about 5 years, and yeah, that's our story.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, as I mentioned before, we've done some posts about this build campaign for the Westminster Boys and Girls Club, and I mentioned a Young Benefactor giving circle, and a lot of people I know don't even know what that means. So, you were part of this idea to create this giving circle. So why don't you tell us a little about the Young Benefactor and kind of the reasoning behind it?
Sure. So I was approached by yourself and a couple other individuals with the idea of approaching, I suppose, young people about making donations and being part of the build project here at the Boys and Girls Club for their new building. And the idea was that we approach individuals who will become or are becoming leaders in the community and someday might sit in boardrooms for various nonprofit organizations and things like that, including the Boys and Girls Club. And so the thought was to approach them and to buy the naming rights to the boardroom here with sort of the vision that someday we would all be sitting in here or in boardrooms like this. And so we did it, and I think we had like a $50,000 goal we had to reach, and I think we surpassed it, far surpassed it. And honestly, it was just about approaching people our age and asking them if they wanted to be involved and sharing with them our vision. And we definitely did that and some, I think.
Yeah, we had a lot of people, step up to the plate who we're going to be continuing these interviews. And it was exciting to see. I think, Ross, you hit the nail on the head. I think we set a goal of 50,000, and I feel like we raised close to either 75 or 80,000, all from kind of younger business people within the community. So that's fantastic. And Ross, just tell me a little bit, why did you get involved? What is it about the Westminster Boys and Girls Club that kind of ignited your passion?
Yeah, so really it's more personal for me. I've told the story numerous times, and I can share it briefly. Just my grandfather in World War II was in Berlin after the war and came across a group of young men, boys, children, trying to play baseball with, rags and a stick. And he basically said, if you're here tomorrow, I'll come back with gloves and balls and bats, and I'll teach you how to play baseball. And he did that. And so every day he was coming back, and more kids were showing up. And at the time in Berlin, the Americans weren't really supposed to be, fraternizing with the Germans. And so one day, someone from the general's office, General Clay, I believe it was, came by and said, you need to go see the general. And my grandfather thought he was going to be court-martialed and in trouble. Here he was, this small-town boy from Nebraska, and, oh my God, I'm going to get sent home. And instead, they told him, we want you to go around Germany and set up these different organizations for youth. And he did that, and at one point, he was serving Christmas dinner to thousands of children across Germany. And in fact, a lot of those kids, when they became adults, found him later in life when he was back in America. And so he always called them his German children. And so for me, that's something I'm very proud of. And I saw an opportunity to become involved with the Boys and Girls Club as sort of a way to continue his legacy and continue to do the work that he was doing in Germany and then continue to do later in life. And so that's really why I got involved with it, because I saw it as an opportunity to come in here in the town of Westminster in Carroll County and help those children as well.
Fantastic. So personal connection to the Westminster Boys and Girls Club, from obviously a very successful business person who wasn't even, born in this community, but has become really a staple in the community. And, Ross, thanks for taking the time to speak with me. On behalf of the business community of Westminster, we look forward to having your continual involvement with many other organizations, and that's just fantastic. So we're going to kind of continue these series. We've got a lot of young benefactors that we want to get to. If you're interested in learning more about the Circle of Giving, reach out to Ross, reach out to myself. It's a fantastic organization with fantastic leadership. So thanks again, Ross, for being here.
Ben.